We'll take a look at some of the other Grade 1s and other races before we get into the novice races. We'll start with the race after the Champion Hurdle, the Mares Hurdle. Probably one of the best renewals of this I think we've seen in a long, long time, possibly ever. Honeysuckle, two-time Champion Hurdle winner. She is going to take a chance here, probably going to be her final race. She's 9-4 favourite. Epatante and Marie's Rock are 3-1 as well. We don't know if one or both of them are going to turn up. I think at least one will. Brandy Love and Love Envoy 6-1. Echoes and Rain 7s. Theatre Glory 9-1. 10-1 Bar. Craig, this is another very, very good renewal of a certain race. Honeysuckle, though, do you think she's past her best, or do you think she's well worth a chance here?
I think she's past her best. To be straight to the crunch, they had the option of Champion Hurdle, same as Epatante. Nobody wants to run up against Constitution Hill, but both mares for me are worth taking on here. Honeysuckle, I don't think she's finished off her races in anywhere near the same way as she was running 12 months ago. She was weak finishing last time. I think she's vulnerable. Epatante's obviously bumped into Constitution Hill and had easy pickings last time. Nicky Henderson's always said this year, he's felt that she's been as good as ever. But I just feel that both are a little bit long in the tooth now, and they're taking a big chunk out of the market. I'm happy to side with a younger, more improving horse here. Brandy Love is a horse I like a lot. You look back to the way she won at Fairy House last spring, absolutely demolished the field, including Love Envoy. She obviously had a setback, belated return, punches down. Again, showed a high cruising speed. Loved the way she travelled through the mid part of that race. You could just see the minute she showed signs of getting a little bit tired and coming to the end of her run, she wasn't knocked about at all. She was allowed to come home in her own time. I think she'll come on plenty for that. I thought she was a little bit of each way value here. Quite keen on the chances of Brandy Love.
Mark, I think the reaction of the week would be if Honeysuckle was to win this race, but you have to look at the blemishes the past couple of times. She's probably been with that maybe £5 lower than her form, maybe even last season and the season before. She is up against a really strong field here, though. What do you think's kind of going to be? How's this race going to end up?
I don't know. I was listening to Craig there. I think Epatante hasn't regressed, I don't think. I think she's just running against a horse who's just a monster in Constitution Hill. Honeysuckle, I do feel has regressed, although the money was crazy for her last time out when she was running against Stateman. She was backed off the boards. They obviously thought she was going to win, because that can't just be, Panthers money. The yard must have thought she was going to win as well. I can't see her winning this. This is the deepest race to the festival championship race. I think 8 out of 10 can win this. I think the one that's been really overlooked is She Wears It Well at 14-1 each way. She was talked about as a champion hurdler before she got her injury. Now, this season, she's come back. She's won a Pertemps qualifier. Maybe they thought they were going to go there first. Then she beat Queensbrook. And Queensbrook's had a perfect prep this season compared to last season. And, she was only beaten 3.5, 4 lengths by Marie's Rock last season. I know it'll tell me something, Girl fell and there was carnage at second last. But I think She Wears It Well's been overlooked. The worry with her is she clouts a couple of hurdles, and she'll get too far back if she does that in this race. But I think at 14-1, I'd side with her. You can forget Epatante, because I've backed her at 14-1. She's got no chance. She just, I don't know. I backed her after she won at Liverpool last season, and I thought she was a huge price then. I thought they would go to the mares because they couldn't win the champion hurdle. But I think She Wears It Well's the value, 14-1. I think I'd stick with her at the moment with the 10 winners. I'd take the 3 places and back her.
Callum, regards to the Mares Hurdle, it is a very open race. I think there's a lot of chances in here, but you have had your eye on one particularly from way early in the season.
Yeah, I liked Echoes and Rain even before the jump season really started. She was superb in Iris Cesarewicz, where you thought there'd be valid stamina doubts to go close against Waterville with some effort, because Ian O'Brien that absolutely Chuckton. And again, in Galway, she ran really well 2 miles. I mean, 2 mile flat suggests that you can get 2.5 miles over hurdles for sure. She certainly wasn't done with in the Hattons race either. I thought she was boxing on quite well. She confirmed that kind of visual improvement to me last time out when holding up as she liked in a pretty weak race, but she does look better. The age of 7, she's still in the compass of winning this. On a good anti-post position, I wouldn't dive back in at 6s, but 14s each way. I think she's one of, as we said, 8 in these that get really sound claims. What Nicky Henderson does here is interesting to me because I think he's the only one that really wants Marie's Rock to be in the stairs. And I think that's because he's got his eye on the champion hurdle, mare's hurdle, and stairs hurdle treble here. I just think he feels he can win those 3 by going that route with Constitution Hill, Epatante, and Marie's Rock. And I just think he wants to have a go at that. I would run Marie's Rock here again. She's a bit headstrong for a stairs hurdle, in my opinion, and I think the rain might confirm that. But another one I like now, and she's drifting the market, but it's Love Envoy. She's a good winner of the Mares Novice Hurdle. She was 4-1, 9-2. She's been at the top of the market this for ages, and all of a sudden she's doubled in price. And that's a bit strange because Connections only fear one horse here in Marie's Rock, and she might not go. So she's solid, reliable, but she's an up and comer, and up and comers tend to do well in this. 7-year-olds have a brilliant record. I respect Brandy Love as well. I think she's maybe a bit wild. Her temperament might. I think they're just behind the 8 ball a little bit too much with her. So yeah, my 2 darts in the race would be Echoes and Rain and Love Envoy.
I have the first show we did, I tipped up Brandy Love. I thought she was going to be ready for this. Again, she's had a difficult prep. She's maybe come out later than they thought originally. She was at Henrietta's for a long, long time. I think they only just got her back a couple of weeks before she went out and raced against Queensbrook. But she does have this tendency, obviously, with the right-handed. I wouldn't take into account that run the last day. I thought it was actually quite a good prep run, considering the fact she was giving Queensbrook weight. She finished third in the race. She's obviously got a lot of potential. She's better left-handed. I think she would have bolted up in the Mares Novice last year if she'd ran in it. They pulled her out just before the race. And I think she's probably at 6-1. She's a good enough each way bet for me to stick with her. I would love Honeysuckle to win. Again, I've loved Honeysuckle since she was first in the course, and to win 2 champion hurdles and to win a Mares hurdle. I don't think she was as good enough she was as good last year as she was the year before. And I think she's a wee bit off that as well last year. So I think she would need to be at her very best to win here, and I don't think she is at her very best. So I wouldn't take her on. I'd love to see her win, but I just think Brandy Love is my pick each way. And I think I'm with Mark. I like She Wears It Well. I've always liked She Wears It Well. I think just a wee saver in her each way as well could be a good wee play. We'll go around the panel. Craig, you are very much in the Brandy Love camp with me.
I am indeed. A little bit of a saver on Echoes and Rain as well, though.
Well, it looks like everyone's going for Willie Mallon's horses because I fancy She Wears It Well each way.
She Wears It Well. And Callum, you are very much in the Echoes and Rain camp.
Yeah, saver Love Envoy as well.